what the fuck? That was, yeah. Oh no, it crashed my everything, dude. Just gotta wait for my Steam to boot back up. Well, if it crashes again, I'll just hope that, you know, we can instead, we'll just try another fight, or I'll just let it scoot for the time being. By the way, beautiful artwork there, Mr. Phillip.
Open the curtains, lights on.
So did I lose the book? I did not lose the book. Good shit. There we go. Back into the fray. Oh god, 9 to 19? What the fuck? That's also a single page. We'll do red down into... We'll rush down into fast fleet. Yeah, whatever. I legitimately can't hit hard enough to bounce that. So why am I... I mean, if I roll fucking max and they roll terribly, maybe I can bounce it. But that is incredibly unreliable. I've got the Faint Memories, but I don't have the other one. Wrath of something or whatever. Wow, I actually blocked that. Don't let your memes be memes, kids. Also, hello, Kinesis. And of course, the one time I actually get to benefit from my increased speed, I already cooked those dice. Unfortunately, gazing at the prescript, I'm not getting anything particularly good in that. You will do. Yeah, I guess Faint Memories works. The other one does not. Lots of parries there. Defense order, gain smoke. Will of the memes. Undertake memes. And, well, might as well get out memes. Prescript. You're done for. Slay and fall. And here we go. You. I do not appreciate you, so you get dealt with. Faint Memory should handle it, but that's a lot of potential RNG screwage there. Flying Sword into Extreme Edge. Honestly, they're not all that bad. Bleed them. Get some light. If anything, my trouble is more of my lack of, you know... damn it, switched at the last second again. Than my lack of handing. Nice parry memes, though. Nice parry memes, though. Automated movement. Piercing is ideal, so here. Of course, I rolled just under what's under useful there. Where the prescript goes, so do we. And here we go. Angry Bash Lord. Meal. I'll take Sanguine. I am taking it in case of a need of a boss. Yeah, G. Oh, but he has no pages. So he's just there to kind of watch and go, well. He's just here to watch. He's just here to watch. And I have to get some world premiums in there. Right, someone needs to deal with that. I guess it might as well be you. Nah, you're gonna eat up my entire hand, you asshole. That works. And there we go. Still can't take advantage of that. Illusion. That isn't going to work out well, but it's something. I would prefer you not tap that die. You know what? Hell with it. That works. Wow, I actually hit everyone. Nice. What is this nonsense? You know what? Let's meme. Beholds this power. It is possible to learn it. To embrace it. I shall embrace madness and become whole. I'll just take a, you know, casual 29 damage. Imagine if I actually had bleed decks and, you know, focused on doing that. Then it actually would be, you know, actually scary. Uh... Probably about the best I can swing right there. Flying Sword into Overcome Crisis. Yeah, let's... Oh god, I can't see the face anymore. Well, we're one nugget down, and then he fucks off. Curtain call for the reception of the Blue Reverberation. Oh yeah, I totally beat the Blue Reverberation guys. Aren't they super cool? Crap. We lost him. We couldn't get a proper book out of him either. I really want to take a peek at that lunatic's mind for once. Do you need that person's book above anything else? It's for personal reasons, to be frank. The Blue Reverberations seem to be after the Red Mist. Then perhaps a book of the Red Mist could lure him back here again. I appreciate the thought, but how exactly are we going to do that? You know the original Red Mist kinda doesn't exist anymore. About that, we might have a way around it. Say, the Blue Reverberation said he lost his sister to a distortion, right? Is he aware that I was the cause of that phenomenon? He's no ordinary guy, so it's possible he noticed it. Then the Blue Reverberation's goal may be taking revenge on me, perhaps. No, rather, anyone who lost what they found precious to the distortion would resent me once they learned I was responsible for the phenomenon. Well, maybe. Do you regret it or anything? I'm not really sure. All I can say for certain is not exactly pleasant to know that the resentment against me is growing. Even then, it was ultimately the fault of the one man who trapped me inside for eons that the city came to suffer. I feel much better thinking about it that way. Ah, yeah, shift the blame. That very much helps. If I don't have to take responsibility, then I don't have to feel bad. I don't care if the Blue Reverberation wants vengeance or not. It is but one of many clashes against my desire and the city folks' desires. Right, you are. That's that, and this is this. Hey look, Gabora gets to have a turn. And you can have the Emma page. It's clowning time! The Mountain of Smiling Bodies. Oh boy, I was not ready for this one! Hi, third trumpet. Okay. We should take it down as quickly as possible. This place reeks of filth. Be hell to deal with as it grows bigger. You heard Miss Gabora, let's be fast. So what's its rules? Prioritizes using Devour on allies. Recovers 30% of current HP upon defeating an ally. Transforms back into stage 1, HP drops to 0. Transforms to stage 3 upon fully recovering HP. At the start of the scene, gains 1 strength. Uses Horde Screech every 2 scenes. Upon taking a hit, deal 8 damage to the librarian that attacked it and inflict 1 fragile to them. Yeah, it's very much a control fight. Isn't it sad, Eugen? We are firmly in code black. As a frame of reference, every time we hit one of the piles that are, you know, currently being the dead, it hurts us. And no, I did not happen to miss that screech. Will, no, draw the sword into Will. I also did not miss it snacking on bodies. Give Rengar instincts to try and make up for the fact that his HP pool is garbage. Fucking Eugen memes. That's the best I got this round. Honestly, the Mountain of Smiling Bodies is not all that bad. Okay, so kill mark that one. I need to start taking out some of these foes. That should be fine. Of course, this is the one round I roll like absolute garbage. That one's fine. I need that to be a guaranteed kill, so that's gonna just hurt. Overcome crisis. That's just a lot of hits I have to take right there. Yeah, that's about the best I can do right now. It's gone. That one's gone. Fucking Eugen. Every time. Just to ensure that's a kill. It doesn't stagger, thankfully. And then Instincts is... Your best hope is to clash a lot. Oh, it keeps regurgitating out more meat, too. That's... oof. It's because Instincts and the fact that it doesn't stagger my ass. Do I have any form of health recovery right now? Not really. Oh, that was it? There we go. It's now we bad. And of course I rolled garbage on literally everyone. Small. It's so small. Oh yeah, because he can still clash! Beat up the meatball! Tailoring into endless battle. Let's go. Well, that kind of sucked. Whatever. We're gonna alpha strike the crap out of it. If HP is 50 or low. Oh, now I just have to kill the bodies. I would laugh my ass off if I couldn't win this simply because of having no health. Yeah, no, Health Hauler is fucking king here. Anyway, no casualties. Good shit. Ran the line real hard, but... Aleph. So, absorption. It only wants one thing. Our flesh drenched in blood. Once it gets a whiff of the scent, it'll pursue us in an instant. For the duration of the act, recover 20% HP, max 20 upon defeating an enemy. At the start of the scene, gain strength based on the amount of HP the librarian has recovered this act. 1% 10% maxed healed, max 3. So, absorption kinda runs out of usage eventually. Because 10% of HP is... No, we're not. We're only starting to get to 100. No, but even... Because the problem is, recover 20% of max HP, max 20. So here's the problem. Is it counting all? Does it count all the HP you gotten around? AKA, you have one source of healing for like 10, then another for 20. Okay, so if you have multiple sources of sustain, absorption works better. Got it. From the mountain of bodies, the dead gave life to something. The dead fused with one another, all smiling. When the librarian takes a hit while their HP is 25% or lower, a screech bursts out at 50% chance, up to twice per scene. The screech deals 2 to 10 stagger damage to all characters other than this librarian, and all characters are inflicted with one of the following statuses next scene: feeble, disarm, blind, or fragile. Laughter... it's probably for solos, because I don't see that ever being a good circumstance. Mountain of Corpses. All librarians except a selected one are immediately killed when the page is chosen. The selected librarian gains max light capacity, light restoration, strength protection, and haste proportional to the number of librarians killed for the rest of the battle. Yeah, I definitely see this deck being a very... The green is for sustain. The other two are for soloing. Holy shit. The more bodies it comes across, the more defined its shape becomes, and it is never satisfied. I mean, everyone in the Gabora floor simps for her, so, you know, of course they would. Guess you can exert as much power as the Red Mist did in her prime? Seems so. I can't see myself to be identical to Callie either. What's the big difference between the Red Mist and your present self, though? I used to be able to freely wield ego. I was probably the only one in the city who could manage such a feat. Weapons and armor that resonate with your own heart. Who could imagine that? And now I can't handle those ego as smoothly anymore. But the librarians can use ego now, right? True, but we aren't in full control of the ego we use. We just temporarily acquiring it from abnormalities. So if I'm getting this right, we're basically borrowing powers from the creatures we call abnormalities in the form of ego. That's pretty much it. We're not in the state to use them properly. And so the Red Mist was... well, the sword I used to wield was extracted from someone else, but the armor was my own ego. Those empowered me greatly. I mean, yeah, no one could have seen that coming. Weapons and armor that resonate with the mind. Your foes must have been helpless against them. It's not all that convenient, since it literally links up with your mind. You risk getting consumed by it as well. And the distortion happens if you're gobbled up by it? I suppose so. Every time I used ego, I felt as if there were someone talking to me. They're what I desperately needed to hear, but at the same time, those words are things I don't want to listen to. It was like a raging torrent that could sweep my consciousness away if I ever lost my grip. Not sure I felt that. Guess because the ego we use here are adjusted by Angela in advance. I'm mostly worried about what may happen when people out there start manifesting and using ego. Who gave you access to such amazing gear, anyway? The person who was supposedly led the research to cure humanity, wasn't it? Right. Carmen was from the nest, but she wasn't afraid to hang out around the back streets to give her fervent speech. She wasn't going to last long if she kept that up, if we're being honest. So you helped her out of pity or something? Not a chance. I wasn't naive enough to serve anyone without payment. I simply wondered just what exactly a nest dweller would know about the agonies of the city to be so passionate about the matter. She brazenly went on about her absurd claim that she could break the ever-repeating cycle of suffering that goes on in the city. I got mad that some dweeb was spouting off like she understood everything. So I grabbed her and snapped at her. How dare you rattle on about that? What do you know about the pain and suffering of people in the back streets go through, I yelled. I thought Carmen would whimper on the verge of tears, but she instead kept a straight face and retorted with a question. What do you know about the pain in the nest, then? She said she'll tell me all about the pain and agony of the nest, so I should teach her about the suffering in the back streets in return. She was so shameless. I didn't like how she acted so brash for someone so weak. Her eyes and voice, on the other hand, carried a certain energy. She said that even the weakest people could gain the power to easily topple the head if they just set their mind to it. That she will give everyone the therapy to grant such power and mindset. She gave me her card, telling me to come over if I was interested. That was before you got assigned to color, right? Yep, I was grade 2 back then. You bought into her borderline cultist hooey despite being a grade 2. No, I believed her because I was that experienced, actually. I met with countless swindlers and hacks in my life, but something about Carmen told me she was not one of them. Just what kind of person was she? Anyways, I decided to count on Carmen. If I could protect this person, maybe this world might change. Maybe fewer people would have to suffer the same kind of pain I did. That's why you worked for practically free, huh? All while you did unbelievable things, becoming a living legend and getting a color. Those were just extras. Doing meaningful work was enough for me. You sure are strong, and stupidly honest. Heard that a lot. Thanks for the stories, by the way. How about a cig? No thanks, still got loads of work to do. Yes and no. The problem is the idea of, yeah, no, I can't do Snow Queens. I've been sitting on that for a bit, but I need a bash deck for Roland specifically. But the problem with the head is that, as weirdly bureaucratic as they are in the strangest of ways, they are still quite powerful. Arcarp alone could easily wipe out people. What Carmen is talking about is using the system to change the system. She was in an influential position to do it. Huh, weird. Wonder why I can move forward with Blue Reverberate. Oh god, there's 3 stories. Oh boy. Which is a very true fact. Oh. Oh. Oh god, that's like, yeah, of course there's a second chapter. It wouldn't end that quickly. Yeah, because the second chapter is in the second chapter. Look at this little brainlet go. Well, I'm gonna sweep the bottom and then read some logs. Let's go. We've been receiving reports recently that cases of the distortion are growing exponentially, centered around Nest L. Even private offices are reluctant to take the work, going so far as to cancel contracts one-sidedly. Not only would they shun requests about dealing with the distortions, they'd also avoid any tasks related to the library as well. I guess it was to be expected. There's a reason the Lou was put in charge. Director, I heard that Section 1 has sent us a report about the distortion. Yeah, that's why I called you here. You both know that we're encouraged to take records of the distortion in order to gather data, right? Yes, and our records can only be shown to those in close proximity to a Moonlight Stone, product of M-Corp Singularity, which we're obliged to carry for our mission, so it doesn't matter much to us. What they sent is no ordinary report, is it? If you're sharing it with us. You got that right. There's something that irked me about the footage that came with it. Long story short, the loose South Section 1 has failed to capture the crying children. Was the team wiped out? No, they just missed it. But if Section 1, led by Director Zhao of all people, too, couldn't capture it, this can't be an average urban nightmare. Has it been exalted recently? We'll watch the footage first. It starts around here. Stay sharp, people. We never back down no matter what happens. Yes, ma'am. Director, the crying children just fell to the ground. It won't be flying anymore with that messed up body. We're almost there. This is the final push, so give it your all. Director, there's someone... What? Ah, you poor thing. Section 1 of the Lu is out for your blood, a little kid. Isn't it sad that no one recognizes the pure and clean melody flowing within you? The blue reverberation. Hi there. Been a while, huh? Your greeting is as sharp and bitey as I remember. I don't know what you're up to this time, but I'd be glad if you could gently retreat and stay out of this. I'm only here to take that pitiful friend rejected by everyone, that's all. Injured, abandoned, and about to be struck down by the likes of you. How sad. All he wanted to do was cry. I would shed tears for him. Almost. Cut the nonsense. What more could you possibly want to justify doing this? I doubt a fixer at your standing would feel that anything is insufficient. Don't think being a color will save you. If you keep snooping around pulling nonsense like this, your elimination will be in order one day. To feel that nothing is insufficient. Eliminated. Tell me, are you satisfied with your current life? Affluence on the surface isn't all there is to it. A corner of my heart is always empty. When I try to fill it with useless things, it only gets bigger and strangles me. Yes, I'm looking for something. A something that has to fit in that void. I think I found it, but I've yet to claim it. I can't wait for the day I fill that emptiness and make myself whole. Oh, is yours filled already? Filled by a person dear to you? Don't you yap your mouth any further. I can't dare crack a joke under your fierce gaze. I hate to see each other's insides today, so could you kindly put this scary fellow away? Just one last question. What in the wing's name are you planning to do with a monster like that? That's a funny question. When there's a pitiful thing on the street, everyone gets the urge to bring it home and adore it, no? I think this one could join me. He looks like an interesting specimen, too. Don't you agree, Oswald? He smells too sour right now, but in our hands he'll be letting off a dirty stench in no time. This weird sourness is what you get if you don't know how to wash your body right. I was just about to knead him up nicely, but Mr. Funnybones over there just had to send him elsewhere. What even? The bottom line is, us taking him shouldn't bother you at all. If I took him, he'd stop destroying this nest any further. In other words, I'm saving you the fundamental trouble of taking care of him. Now, that's all the more reason to stop you. For us, capturing the distortion is an option. Creatures are everywhere in the city. Doesn't have to be this poor friend. I'm starting to get tired of talking, so let's wrap up our friendly conversation here. Oswald, give him a show for me. Miss Mermaid, Mr. Knife, it's time to show the skills we've honed and wet. This place will be filled with thunderous cheers and wondrous applause. Damn it. Director, give us an order. Blue reverberation. The three of us can go to a quiet place for some private talk. Pluto? But of course, the blue reverberation. I don't get it. Why would a fixer at such a high grade do something like that? That's beyond anyone's understanding for now. Only the blue reverberation himself knows. Anyway, even though the team had no problem handling the troopers at the 8 o'clock circus, the blue reverberation vanished with the crying children in the meantime. Section will be staying at the temporary base for a few more days to secure samples of other distortions. So that's why they hadn't come back by this morning. I was wondering if anything happened to them. You must be worried a lot, Director. Not at all. I trust in Zhao. Setting that aside, how's our situation? Section 2 isn't exactly doing much better. The staff we dispatched to Nest L reported several casualties, including a sizable number of associate officers. If we continue, we might be in serious trouble. Yeah, we can't just sit here and take the losses forever. We did make some progress, though. We found that every person who was subject to the distortion phenomenon was under extreme emotional distress. Emotional stress, sir? Seems evident that those who manifested distortion were emotionally pressured to an extreme. But the thing is, who in the city doesn't get stressed in their life, really? Everyone's holding their anguish within themselves. Exactly. This is my speculation. It might be that the distortion occurs when emotions bottling up inside exceed a certain threshold. What that threshold may be, or how high it may be, is still a mystery, though. If your hypothesis is sound, the only way to stomp the distortion altogether would be reduce people's stress or heighten each person's threshold. Neither of which is possible in the city. There still isn't enough evidence to prove it. We need more info. Well, it's our job as fixers to fix the problems we're paid to solve. We gotta see what else can be done. I have high expectations for this invitation. Let's buck up a little. Understood. By the way, Director, how's that one thing going? Are you talking about me entering the dumpling making contest? No, wait. I never told anyone but Zhao about that. No, I mean the preparations for your first wedding anniversary next month. We are terrible people and everything's gonna be bad. I heard you're gonna give her a nest migration permit as a present. What? How did you... Wait, how does Lou not have a fucking permit at this point if she's Section 1? Word spreads so quickly. Come on, Director. Everyone in Section 2's gossiping about how you're spending your newlywed life with Director Zhao, the Maiden of Iron. Let's save that one for after we've finished our work. Yes, sir. Cecil, we should have a little chat later. Yes, sir. Still unsure what the Blue Reverberation's goal is, but I think I get one thing for certain. That he's an absolute nutcase. I'm not in the mood for jokes. From what we've seen so far, the Blue Reverberation was gathering distortions. Well, yeah, true. It's not enough on its... Maybe it's not enough on its own, but you think that with the money she'd be pulling in and how high status she is, she'd be able to get into a nest no problem. That or she's just never accepted for a permit. No, I'm not sure if they can be called as such. Distortions that are capable of thinking and acting rationally. Sure, that's what he seems to be doing, but... we still don't have a clue why. What a bunch of freaks gonna do. Whatever it may be, I don't think it'll be a good thing. In any case, we're wasting our time by pondering over a question we'll never figure out the answer to on our own. Well, that's a good point. So I suppose it's common for fixers to start families? Oh, it is. They're often in life or death situations together, working face to face. Most end in tragedy, though. If a couple's staying in a fixer business, it won't take long until only one of them remains. Exhibit A, me. Good point. That fixer's about to meet his end here, too. You're speaking way too casually about it. Roland, I'll say this before you get sentimental. They could very well make the choice to not come to the library. Yet they still chose to come here out of their own volition. Urban nightmares and beyond are no longer a matter of choice. Urban nightmares and stars of the city are designated as such because there's an invisible sense of compulsion involved. Invisible compulsion, that doesn't change the fact they're able to make choices. They have things they cherish so much, why should they risk their lives by going to a dangerous place? They have the liberty of choice. Angela, you were right when you said no one is truly free in this city. Choice and liberty, the things they cherish so much. People's desires clash and intertwine with one another, create an intangible chain. That's life in the city. Them coming here is the association ordered. All of the guests ending up as books in the library. Me leaving the house for urgent work. They might seem like choices made out of free will, but in truth our hands were forced by the shackles of others' desires. So, are you saying I shouldn't pursue my freedom because I must show consideration for them? Because I'm a machine? Because I'm unworthy? No, it's got nothing to do with those. But if you keep trying to earn freedom this way, the karma will come back to strangle you one day. Enough of that drivel. This is this, and that's that. And we're here! This place looks a lot more antiquated than I expected. It does for sure. Are you gonna decorate your house in this style, Director? Well, Zhao prefers something cute. Wait, mate, stop asking silly things and focus on work. Oh, so that's our Section 1 Director's taste, I see. I'll take note of that. Greetings, dear guests. I am Angela, the Director and Librarian of my role's namesake. We are the fixers of Section 2 of the Lu Association, Southern Branch. We have come to retrieve the books listed on your invitation. You may take them if you can overcome the ordeals. Do you have anything else to say? The situation is pressing and a quick guidance would be appreciated. Are the books truly worth risking your life over, however? What do you mean? I'm asking you if they're valuable enough for you to give up the joys of everyday life. A machine that's curious about the life of humans, huh? This is what I must do to protect the joys of life you just mentioned. There aren't a lot of things that are done out of one's own volition, and we can't exactly afford to skip on work if we don't feel like doing. I see. So you were coerced into making this choice? May we enter now? You may, and may you find your book in this place. Well, here's the thing, Kinesis. Angela is acting out of malice and out of complete selfish desire. Because for what is essentially she perceives as 1,000,000 years that she cannot forget, she has been forced to do someone else's whims with about as much choice in the matter as, well, to put it bluntly, a wall. If the wall does not hold up its position, if the wall does not hold up, it is... No, that's terrible. That's a terrible analogy, and what the fuck. I would say puppet, but puppets at least have the ability to move. Someone else's whims, but they at least have some anatomy when they jingle and wringle. To put it honestly, yeah, no, she has had no literal free will for 1,000,000 years. Every time she went off of script, the scenario failed and had to be started over. She had a specific role in mind, and she could only act that role for 1,000,000 years. Okay, round 2 with the Lu Fixers. This is gonna fucking hurt. And at least the actor may have room to be freeform. Angela was strictly on the rails, with no way of acting out of line. Another thing to keep in mind about Angela is the fact that, quite literally, she may not actually even have a concept of guilt, because she was never taught what guilt is. She may have experienced guilt, but remember that any time that she was supposed to do something, she was supposed to let it happen. She was always a non-actor. So, in essence, she quite literally doesn't know what guilt is. Hey there, Clever. Just doing Lou's section 2. And ready for the pain that's about to bring me. All of them. Pre-script meme, and I'll just take that hit right there. She's experienced remorse. She's experienced guilt, but she doesn't... Maybe I'm trying to say it. She currently justifies a lot of her actions and doesn't really think about the ramifications because she's very self-centered. Because she wasn't exactly brought up with a good emotional upbringing. She may have experienced the emotions, but she doesn't know what those emotions are, other than spite, petty malice. Oh yeah, no. Both are absolutely true. Note that every one of the Sephiroth slavishly devote themselves to Carmen, and Carmen devoted to Ian. Oh, absolutely. Not saying he wasn't equally devoted, but the reason why Carmen died was because she was following A to a degree. Now, hold on. No, actually, that is fair. Nope, that is technically fair. Because all of A's dreams and desire, well, all of his goals happened because... Well, Carmen went to lobotomy, where A was. A followed, well, let Carmen do what she want. Carmen failed, died, A took Carmen. Yeah, no, it's very brain. Yeah. So, Lobotomy Corp, the game, happens because Carmen dies. But Lobotomy Corp existed before Carmen died. Yeah, it was a power plant. I mean, I might just be entirely wrong, which if I'm wrong, okay. Sorry. Yeah, because as far as I understood, Lobotomy Corp was the power plant that powered the city. And it's been around for a while as far as I understand, so I thought that... Yeah, no, I'll go with the I'll go with the fact that I'm probably wrong. Well, yeah. Though, to be fair, I'm only working with the information I've got from Lobotomy Corp itself. I don't know, you know, if they go into deeper detail in Ruina, so... Thus, you know... If I'm speaking out of ignorance, I probably just don't have some information. Yeah. Still, I do appreciate the chance to learn, and sorry if I was, you know, speaking out of my ass. I'm only speaking from what? Oh, no, absolutely. Everyone in Lobotomy Corporation is a terrible person. Welcome to the city. Well, yeah, the reason why he's the least terrible out of everyone is because he was a kid from the outskirts. Like, gee, you think the kid is, You think the kid's gonna be a fucking war criminal that's gonna break the law of the ethics laws? Look, even though the head has terrible laws, they are still technically the laws of the land and therefore have to be abided by. They're not good laws, but they're laws. It doesn't honestly matter to, it doesn't honestly matter where the, whether we think the head is, you know, good or bad, because they're the ones with power. Those with power are able to make their will manifest on those without power. And until Lobotomy Corp can find a... Well, not Lobotomy Corp, but until the city is able to find a solution to its long-term problem here... Why isn't that countering? Oh, because I'm countering the wrong die. I did get to read some of Wonder Lab. Quite a few staggers this round, which is very ideal. Because I don't have all the cards on the bottom floor, and I'm doing what I can to sweep the bottom floor, then make decks. Energy conversion is there for purposes of just having a nicer card, a nicer punch card. I think I replaced a card with a similar function. So it was a net benefit. There's a reason why the city is as entrenched as it is, because the head has the power to make their will manifest. Everything has to go through the head, so they have access to every tech. They have access to everything. It's unsurprising that they, you know, could handle it, because if in theory they have access to every tech, they have access to everything that every corporation has, they are of apex power. They might be, you know, memesters, haha, look at our terrible laws. But they, on the other hand, are the head for a reason. If they were so easy to overcome, they wouldn't be the head. They would have lost their job and their government a long time ago. Because remember who they're also keeping in check. Many people whose entire shtick is using singularity-like technologies to achieve effects. Such as the W Corp, who has the ability to reconstruct matter. L Corp, which was bringing out abnormalities. T Corp, which is fucking time control. And those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, so Lowell. First of all, High Speed 3. Fighter that never retreats. When emotional level rises, gain 1 strength and endurance. Oh, fuck me. Firm as a great mountain, emotional level rises. Recover HP. Whenever emotion level rises, recover stagger. Offensive dice gain 1 power at emotion 3 or higher. Okay, so... Fighter that never retreats in speed 3. Great. Cecil. Firm as a great mountain in fervor. Remain vigilant in peace. But yeah, no, we're not going to fight the head. The head will probably watch the phenomenon, shrug, and write it off as a loss, because trying to take us out when we're not an active threat against, say, them specifically... Hell, they may even see it as a shakeup of the order, which, to them, because they are in control, hey, as long as it doesn't disrupt things too much, who cares? Here we go. All-out war. Oh, and he can generate emotion tokens. Oh, God. Okay. Shishangko. 5/6, 6/21. Inflict 1 plus personal emotion level of burn. What the fuck? What the flying fuck? Why? Why do you just have an 8/21? And it doesn't even exhaust. Yeah, my strategy will be fucking survive. Fuck. Last minute switch. Meal here. Don't really have any mass attacks, so Letitia. 5-10 on hit draw page. Counter that with a Binding Arms. Gig. Flashing Sword. Slashing. So that'll put me up to what? 5-10? Not reliable, but the best thing I can swing in the moment. Get some light back. Yes. Yes, I do. Like Pepperidge Farms. It does, but I have no front blockers, which is where the problem is. That could work right here. See how that goes. That's a stagger. Oh, I didn't intend the extra damage right there, but that might actually put him out of the fight, which is good. Less attacks around. Another stagger. Slay parries quite nicely. Black Swan. Let's see. Add a mass attack page to hand that can only be used next scene. That should honestly be fine, because that's not mass attack. So I will mass attack first, which should exhaust the die, I think. No, that's not going to work. It's good for a meme, but unfortunately, yeah. Is that individual? Yup. Oh boy, this is gonna just hurt. You also don't have any of your high-powered dice cards right now, so that just hurts. And you do not have your draws, which hurts. One-hit punch, so that's just gonna hurt. Don't have a mid blocker here, so I'm just gonna have to take the hit. He's also using it on the 7. I can't move faster than he can, so... Oh, wait. On use, remove all dice from page. Yeah, no, he's still gonna get the mass attack because, he's using it on a 7. I can't stop him from going first. I mean, I can try to hope that the Black Swan works, but I don't think that... Yeah, I just physically cannot stop him. Also, he's maxed out on all of his statistics, so yeah, I'm just gonna eat the mass attack, honestly. It's gonna hurt. But when you don't got many better options... That should do it. Yeah, you just don't have pages. And the Black Swan should kill people in the back, so we should be good. Let's give it a shot. Oh, fuck. Well, I just screwed the pooch turbo bad there. I will admit, nice parry there. I might have actually did this if I didn't, you know, mistake this big smiley for a small smiley. Okay, so... this is gonna hurt. I mean, it's all about style in the end, you know? Oh, I can absolutely tank it. I'm not hurting that bad, thankfully. Though, Nameless One may get fucked. Make sure that's a kill right there. More present concern coming in right there. That should probably do. This is gonna hurt, though. Ow. Lots of ow. Goodbye, May. Wow, still no full casualties yet. But he's going fucking fast. He's almost up to max light. Oh, max speed. He also doesn't have any more pages to throw. Yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it? Wait, where'd you get 4 pages from? Oh, right, priest. For some reason, my brain was not clicking that I had the prescript. Nah, he's not gonna get to Emotion 5. He's got way too much to go for his stuff. You know what? All right, let's give that a meme then. Oh wow, he really is getting up. Okay, never mind. He's getting up there. Wow, I underestimated how much light he was getting. Hey, look on the bright side, buddy. You're not paying alimony. Oof, only 1 extra book of Lowell. But, 3. Yep, this is it was bound to end, I guess. I'm not sure I understand. Things people must do in order to secure the joys of ordinary life. People's mindset when they do such work. The reason your attitude suddenly changed when you had no problem laughing off the deaths of numerous other people in the city who are no different from them. And most of all, the reason I can't understand all this. Nothing I can do about the misfortune of others. I just learned to lightly brush off the tragedies I can't do anything to help with. Laughing things off is the only way to stay sane in this city. I still can't help but laugh a bitter laugh about matters I should take responsibility for, though. Well, I suppose dwelling on a problem without a conclusion would be considered strangling yourself. I'll admit I got too emotional this time. I never meant to say you're unworthy to gain freedom or anything, Angela. That's that and this is this. I know, both you and I are bearing many wounds. My words were too harsh, too. Alright, we cool. Let's just let it slide. Fighting each other won't do us any good. Oh god, we can get a fucking thing of Bina? Alright, well, let's get some gear pages. I still need to go back to Nightmare and grind up some pages from there too, so... Still, nice healthy amount of pages from the gears. Rush isn't bad. Vapor is a pretty good solid hitter for individual hittings. Roll me up Lowell's page. No joy. But we do have Forming Storm. Cecil. No Cecil page either. So needless to say, I'm going to need to slot that. Oh, can only be used in the deck of Cecil and May's pages. Well, fuck you too. And then a bunch more pages from the Lou Association. Right. You know what? Yeah, have a turn. Then I'll get to reading the giant page of nightmares I still have to do. Now I'll give you the Eugen page so that we actually understand what the hell's going on. Study the blade, and Gregory can take the piercing deck. Is Bina gonna help out? The Book of Big Bird. God damn it, Bina. The most dangerous beast in the forest is the one we're facing right now. I remember, we had to put the bird to sleep before we could work with it. Anyway, Lady Bina isn't here to help us. We should do this on our own. So what's your rules? The targets cannot be redirected by librarians. Use Dazzle every 3 scenes, which inflicts Enchanted on a librarian when they're enchanted. Add a copy of Birdcage to all librarians' decks who aren't enchanted. What, the Apocalypse Bird? So, that's useless. Oh, God. That fucking sucks. Gains a special combat page that can stagger Big Bird to the librarian that defeats the character. Does not target enchanted librarians. Slowly, surely, assuredly. Floor of religion. Gee, I wonder what was the most religious thing in goddamn Lobotomy Corp. White Knight. Oh shit, you're right, it was Well Cheers. God damn it, you're not supposed to spoil that shit for me, guys. I was supposed to fight the shrimp. Oh god. Fuck. Oh, wait, shit. Now I just feel like an idiot. God damn it. So I'm about to say, well, I'm not taking in fucking Eugen's deck, because I just got screwed. Because I thought I just basically got alphaed on the first turn. No, I did it stupid. I've unlocked every floor at this point. Basically, the priority claims were for mostly contested floors where people wanted in immediately. And so it's kind of the easiest way of making it in. It was the fairest way of getting things in with the very limited slots there at the beginning, but there are just so many people at this point. So yeah, so how the fuck do we stop that? Do I just have to jump? Birdcage. Ah, that's fucking annoying. I have to specifically waste dice. Jesus. Okay, that actually fucking sucks. I mean, it's 30 damage. You're gonna get shit canned, to put it bluntly. Yeah, I could do that, actually. Wrong one. There we go. Yeah, it's about as good as I can do it this round. Oof, you rolled near max. I don't think I should move. Because moving at 1, you'll incentivize hitting Salvation first, and then Salvation just kills you instead. Which kind of sucks. No, Lex won't run into it, but Lameth will. Because they're engaging at the same time. Right. You know you've been going too late when you're forgetting all the basic rules. I could bind... That works. And then to... Overcome. That should be fine. That's one. And Lex gets to sit around and just be bored again. Well, the prescript. Do the one thing you get to do this round. Birdcage. Birdcage. Yeah, that should be fine. Actually, I'll wait for the birdcage, because that's going to break both the dice. So we wait, smash the dice, sit around, then throw out Lullaby, then Alpha Strike it when everyone's in good formation. Throwing out a Lullaby. Then extract fuel because we really need the light. What? I guess it worked. Will the prescript so I can draw it again. Tailoring into Endless Battle. Let's go. Hey, what do you know? There's Lullaby. One, two. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Done. Alright. Suppression of the Big Bird is complete. Watchful Eyes. Fully restore the selected librarian's light. Every scene, a random ally gains no light while the librarian recovers an additional light. Yeah, actually that would do it. The one time you'd want to immobilize yourself. Good shit. The ice hoist shone brilliantly, burning like stars in the night sky, but it gave its eyes to the Big Bird in order to protect the forest. Eternally lit lamp. Any enemy this librarian targets will be forced to target the librarian back regardless of speed. If I kill the creatures first, then no one would be killed by the beast. Salvation. All dice gain +1 power against enemies with higher speed. If target's HP is 25% or lower, destroy all dice on their page upon winning the clash. To this bird, death in itself is salvation. Which, you know, got the big nerf from just kill them. Your expression tells me you have many questions you yearned answered. Why don't you take a seat and have a cup of tea first? I'm not too used to this kind of occasion. In time, you will grow accustomed to it, as with anything else. What is the library like from what you've seen? Again with that question? I thought I told you my answer already. Are you a bit wacky in the head? Viewpoints are bound to undergo constant change. Alright, fine, I'll give you another answer. I got fancy with comparisons like Ruina and jail last time, but to put it bluntly, the library is a perfectly ordinary part of the city where people die out all the time. I see. Black tea doesn't taste too bad. It's no coffee, but it's got its own flavor going. It's because of the palpable agony of the tea leaf infused in each cup. Wait, was she smiling? It's hard to believe, but you said you were an arbiter from the head, right? I was indeed. I had a ton of things I wanted to ask an arbiter if I ever ran into one. Do you have any faith that I will answer them? Nope, not at all. Besides, I got a more pressing question now. If you really are an arbiter, why are you just staying here doing nothing? I am simply watching from afar. I have long since laid down myself as an arbiter. You're just watching? You seem pretty complacent about helping Angela for a bystander. I simply take care of the task given to me. No more, no less. What if Angela ordered you to tell her all about the secrets of the city that only the head knows then? She has not made such an attempt, possibly because she knows that I will not answer regardless. No, perhaps she has already tried to uncover my secrets before I could realize it. What if I try to kill you and turn you into a book here and now? So I can pull out every little bit of knowledge you have by force. You are a bold individual, and quite hostile as well. That is what differentiates you from us, perhaps. Ain't got any courtesy to show for one of the shady overlords of the city. There was once a man whose dream has been ruined by me. However, even when he faced me in person, his anger was directed at what was above and beyond. His gaze never settled on the things right in front of him. He always looked further. Unlike you, Angela, who are well-nigh blind to anything outside of your immediate sight, as I can see. Hey, don't change the topic. Quite sharp indeed. You bear a poison, heavy and slow, yet deadly. I know you well, even you know nothing about me. My occupation is to simply remain silent and speculate, so worry not. Guess our conversation will always be parallel. Oh, sorrow, I have ended, you see, by respecting you, because I am certain that you will never leave me. Ah, I realize it. Your beauty lies in the force of your being. Are you leaving already? You're welcome to stay a little longer and finish your cup of tea. Lost my appetite. You may drop by sometimes and be my company. It is rather amusing to talk to you. Like hell it is. Alright, that's all I should probably get done for the day, because guess what? Crack open the books, it's time for reading stream. Because I've got a lot of nightmare books to read. Eugen. Agrila. Elias, the Blue Reverberation, the person who is known to fervently cause incidents. Recently, he is suspected of recruiting individuals wielding powers that are possibly related to the distortion phenomenon in an attempt to form an organization, as well as prying into his plots. I intend to hamper his efforts myself before collecting data and presenting evidence of his irregular activity to the head. As the Blue Reverberation plot was already in motion, I needed to act quick and do the least I could to stop him. However, She Association was too fatigued from the barrage of requests, so I asked Full Stop Office to deal with the Church of Gears, whose leaders seem to harness the power that resembles the distortion, but I haven't heard from them since. Perhaps because they were eliminated in their mission at the hands of the Church. Or the Blue Reverberation expected the fixer's arrival and toyed with them, that I will definitely have to get to the library and read their books. There was evident rationale to read the books of the musicians of Bremen as well, for they could contain even the slightest hint on the Blue Reverberation's plots he might have told them. Even I do not know the man in detail, admittedly. However, because I am certain that the Blue Reverberation is conspiring something that violates or will violate the rules stipulated by the head, I must gather crucial evidence to report it. I know how corrupt this association is. I am woefully aware of Thelma's cunning and unhinged purpose behind saddling Section 2 with one request after another and wearing us down. I am but waiting for the right time, waiting and enduring until I seize the chance to bring the She back to glory. I firmly believe that everything will take a turn for the better once I take care of this work. I pledge to change the system with my hands, no matter what. Thelma, head of the Southern Branch, has been overworking Section 2 to a nonsensical degree lately. The requests he's giving us are burdensome to take once per week, and he's constantly cramming them down our throats, sapping the strength and will out of our section. It's unclear if we can successfully handle this mission to the library, but it's painstakingly obvious that he'll give us another request to take care of immediately afterwards, even if we could. Most of our surviving crew are losing what little motivation they had left. As for why he insists on using Section 2 when other sections are available, he's probably trying to get rid of Director Eugen because he suspects that our director knows something about the blue reverberation. It's unacceptable that someone could use a branch leader of an association to make a toy of the entire association, color or not, especially if the goal is to remove our director Eugen. I'm not sure what plan Director Eugen has to overcome this, but I suppose that we can wait until we finished our mission. From the receipt of the request to preparation for execution, every step of an assassination is carried out covertly. Discreet killing is the Shias Association's specialty. An all-out war in open fields where numerous people clash at once is not a form of battle, though it is one of the areas where the Lu Association excels. We truly shine when we operate in small numbers. We pursue extreme efficiency in order to kill our target with a limited window of opportunity. Also required is the ability to make quick assessments of the situation in order to move swiftly strike the target's vital point with minimal movement. The demand for assassination requests is pretty high these days, as the most surefire way to eliminate people armed with high-quality workshop equipment on top of body augments is sneaking up on them for a fatal blow when they least expect it. Still, the streets aren't being filled with the corpses of assassinated targets because there are fixers whose job it is to kill those who were hired for assassination. Fixers are continuing the fierce strife no matter the place. Being an organization that is familiar with dealing death, the Shi's code of honor is to treat every person equally, as the weight of death is equal for everyone, as long as the request fee is paid. We remove the target with no questions asked, regardless of who the client is, what kind of crime they may have committed, or any other details. The boss of a syndicate known for murdering people in cold blood, a criminal wanted in the street by somewhere, laundering an identity for a person of higher status who often bribes, even requests to kill one's own friends and family. We handle all requests without leaning to a side. Of course, we have a duty to confidentiality to uphold for our clients. We mustn't give in and maintain silence even in the face of immediate threats of death. Such are the rules and mindsets that the Shi Association members must abide by. However, the recent behavior in the southern branch goes against the core values of the Shi. On top of exerting power for his own private interests, his selfish actions are causing severe damage to Section 2. All of us are eagerly awaiting for Director Eugen to overthrow this rotten system one day. A Puppet, page 1. Life in the nest isn't anything special, honestly. It's the same the whole world over. You get pecked by your boss and go through the mountains of workload. You may find yourself working overtime pretty much every day. Payday isn't all that exciting either. When you realize you barely get any money for yourself after paying for maintenance, credit cards, insurance, living expenses, and all that. Most of your income's gone in a flash, and then back to work. I have my ways of enjoying the little things in life, though. When I come back from work, I crack open a cold one and watch the back streets through the window as night falls. When I'm lucky, I can see people chasing each other or getting into a tussle, and I think, oh, I sure hope that person manages to get away. I'm just being a hypocrite, of course. We're all watching it for fun, don't you agree? It's like a TV show. Viewers aren't genuinely concerned for the people on the rectangular screen. All they care about is guessing who will win. So many unrealistic and varied situations take place in the streets, it actually feels like I'm watching television. Don't call me out for being inhumane. Who knows, maybe someone is watching me work from a high-rise, holding a glass of wine in their hand. Each nest has its singularity. For example, W Corp has Warp, a fast and reliable means of transportation that's guaranteed to deliver you to your destination on time. F Corp has ferries, which can unlock anything that's considered locked, physically or conceptually. G Corp has spheres that can control gravity, and so on. J Corp's singularity is pretty much the opposite of F Corp's. It's the technology that can lock and seal something that's open or exposed on a conceptual level. Of course, the range and size of things that can be locked will depend on how much you pay. Cheap ones are mostly used for locking small boxes and other personal objects, while expensive ones conceal an area of space so nothing can come inside, or even lock a person's body to prevent it from being dissected. The technology has a pretty wide range of applications. You can lock basically anything that's open in one sense or another. Could it be that this singularity was created because our nest, where J Corp is located, is a nest of gambling that holds a few smart secrets that shouldn't be leaked? Beats me. Not like anything good will come out of knowing the real person anyway. J-Corp owns the nest of gambling. Every person there devotes their life to insane games of chance. Emma and I check the security cameras placed in affiliated facilities and spot anyone who cheats. We get hundreds of calls each day. Please check if a person in a dark red coat at N9281 R231 used a sleight of hand to switch cards. I think my table was rigged at Q198 OF1929. I think they're using marbles that weigh 1 gram more than the roulettes at Kappa 1928 R029, etc. A variety of creative and absurd calls flood the lines all the time. What's so difficult about watching the security feed all day, you ask? Sure, you could think that you're unfamiliar with how things work here, but imagine having to check the feeds for tens or even hundreds of rooms that have 10 cams each. The workload is spread over multiple people, of course, but each of us still have dozens of screens to stare at. It makes my eyes spin like a top. Besides, some people are sneaky enough to pull trickery off camera, and some incidents might occur during maintenance hours. This job is a busy one. 2 eyes just aren't enough. When you're checking out one case, another call comes in. When you're done checking that, more calls will wait for you. The shortage of manpower is driving me crazy, I swear. Anton's page. Our body is composed of fluid. Fluid is the substance that fuels our body. While humans maintain their form with the shell they call flesh and skin, we maintain our form with the suit we wear. If this liquid runs out, we will stop dead in place. Therefore, the liquid must always be filled, which is the reason we dine. This liquid is what constitutes and moves our body. We also use the liquid to sweep the streets and dine. This method is simple. When we embed a hook connected to our fuel tank on our back to a human, they melt like a liquid. Then we consume the liquid to refuel. Without this shell, we would deform and spill on the ground like them. The liquid is patented with the approval of the head. You must change your body to become like us if you wish to join our family. Do not worry about the side effects. Mother will give you all the assistance you need. We could safely become a family thanks to her. That is correct. We are conscious of the attention of the people during the daytime, but we practice caution. It would be a public nuisance to show up in broad daylight and cause a ruckus, and we have a set of rules that we abide to. Of course, if the heads demand our service, we must assemble day or night. Oh, and I believe there is a small misunderstanding between us. It is not by the will of us sweepers that the night of the back streets has become a time where no deed is forbidden. Does it appear to you that every denizen of the back streets disapprove of the rules? Anyone is allowed to commit terrible acts at night, and there is nowhere to complain if you are victimized. While this means that terrible things can happen to you at night, it also means you are free to be the perpetrator as much of such a deed yourself. In fact, we do not see much benefit from the freedom of the nighttime, other than being allowed to dine all we want. The back streets are our main stage of activity at night. When night falls, our world unfolds. At regular intervals, we start marching from the perimeter of a nest and sweep everything as we move forward. Even if someone stands in our way and attacks us, even if a powerful fixer kills a sweeper next to us who was our family, we pay no heed and continue onward. Like a wave of water, we sweep everything in our way, except for those who are strong enough to resist it. From the edge of a nest to the opposite end, we march without break for 80 minutes till the night in the back street ends. If the night in the back streets were to be gone, the back streets would fall into even worse chaos than before. In other words, the night in the back streets is the rain that keeps this place in check. Because the night exists, people here show the least amount of human decency. Here's an example. You come home at the end of a hellish day, dragging your body to the sofa. You hope to get a small break lying on the couch and watching cheap entertainment shows. But guess what happens? Some crazy jerk upstairs turns their speakerphone volume to max and makes obnoxious noises that make your ceiling shake. Too bad, there goes your peaceful respite. You can't stand the noise that's getting to your head, so you decide to ask your neighbors to please be considerate and lower the volume. You want to talk this over without a fight, so you battle the furious urge a million times before you go upstairs, but then our unfriendly neighbor gives you a baffling reply when you confront them. I need some free time to myself too. I have gripes with my neighbors that I just live with, so you should do the same. Why make a big fuss about the noise when it isn't even too bad, blah blah, talking out their ass. What can you do though? Barely keeping your boiling anger inside, you go back down to your house, covering your ears with a pillow and yelling curse words as you try to sleep. Even if you told your landlord about it, they shrug off your complaint and smile like a saint, so there's no use speaking up about it. That's when the night of the back streets comes into play. First, you block off the entrance to that shithead's house before they return. Anything works. You could weld the door, use wooden planks, padlock the door, whatever. Ensure they can't get into their own house by any means. Then go back to your home. Sometime later, they'll come back to find that their door to their house has been sealed shut. They'll struggle with the door before giving up, and they'll make a serious face as though they were trying to think of who could have done this ridiculous prank to them. Once they realize it couldn't have possibly been anyone else's doing but yours, it'll be too late, because you'll be behind them, bashing their head in with a brick or some heavy object. Killing them right then would be obviously break the rules, so you drag them to your house and enjoy a quiet rest. When the clock hits 3 a.m., you drag the little shit outside and throw it in the middle of a relatively large street. You return to your home before it's too late and watch the scene from the window. The time is 3:13 a.m. Sweepers crawl out of the dark and sweep the streets clean, collecting all the trash, including that noise pollutant. Welcome back, Zio. Here's hoping work wasn't too bad. I imagine you vibed with this thing, or the neighbor being an asshole in the apartment. No two prescripts are the same in any way. As well as their contents being completely different from each other, you can't expect when and where you'll receive one. It could be placed between the patties of a hamburger you're holding. It could be in your mailbox. It could be handed to you by a passerby. However, if you question those who deliver prescripts or where they come from and put your curiosity into action, the proxies will come for you, so beware. Here's a few examples of prescripts. To Remy, deliver a bacon pizza to Denny on Denny's doorstep on 8th Street before 10 a.m. sharp on September 14th. To Jimin, don't utter a single word for 5 days. To Sehi, if the first person you meet outside today answers your greetings by lifting their right hand, take their heart out. If the person ignores your greetings, remove your own heart from your body. And this is only scratching the surface of the shambolic orders written on the prescripts. The contents of a prescript range from ordinary tasks to things that cannot be carried out in relatively normal, in terms of morality, means. The errant variety and creativity of the prescripts will make you wonder just what goes on in the head of the person responsible for writing them. Take a moment to think about how you would feel if you received a prescript that says, chop off your right ankle and eat it medium rare. P.S. You don't have to eat the bones. You'd think this would be an absurd instruction that no sane person could follow, but those who belong to the index will feel glad that it didn't require chopping off both feet or eating the bones. They're not going to raise the ticket prices or run fewer trains like last time, are they? What do you mean, cap? Lobotomy Corp, the company that was supplying our energy needs, went down recently. That's a good point. It's harder to operate the trains with less energy. What do you mean last time, though? Oh, you're too new to know? Back in the day, L Corp's nest was occupied by another energy company. So that company puttered out and put our corporation into the same energy shortage we're dealing with now. Not quite. It did go bust eventually, but it's more that the company was stingy about sharing its energy. Awfully strict, too. I heard it had a bad reputation among its partnered companies, because they were so high-arsed about energy supply, we had to reduce the number of trains running at a time for a while. I had no idea. Don't count on me, though I also picked this story up from my superior. That's enough chittering, let's get back to work. Oh, they absolutely look cool. The rules of the back streets don't work in the nest, and the opposite's also true. You could drag a higher-up working for whatchamacallit from the nest to the back streets and do what's it to them and get away with it, so long as during the night in the back streets and no sneaky rat saw you doing it. If you did the same whilst in the nest, you'd be breaking rules. Night in the back streets is only really a thing in the back streets, like the name suggests. Sorry, I get how you feel, but I need more time to think about this. Are you feeling down? No, I'm fine, I get it. This is rather sudden, you need some time to collect your thoughts. Thanks for understanding. You know, you're a very caring person. I guess Gramps picked the right rookie to hire. If that's so, thank you. I couldn't say anything beyond that. I tried to think positively about it, convincing myself that I wouldn't want to see Sanbei feel troubled because of me in the future. Clinging on to it would only further make me seem pathetic. Though Sanbei didn't decline my confession outright, I felt it safer to think of it as a rehearsal so I wouldn't get my head in the clouds and make another attempt at it. I shouldn't have held any expectation in the first place. I thought I'd feel like a load had been taken off my chest, even after I confessed my pent-up feelings to her, but I couldn't even bring myself to look Sanbei in the eyes. I didn't see it. I found myself looking for excuses. It's not because I'm a coward. It's not because I was afraid that I might be faced with darkness I can't possibly handle if I lift my head. No. I just looked at the shade so I could see a brighter light, that's all. That thought made me feel a bit easier. I don't know what expression Sanbei wore at the time. Was she grinning at my nonsense, or was she upset? All I can think that she was probably giving me a look of disgust. You gave a fine speech, but I must wonder if you're truly upset for the sake of Salvador or of your other late colleagues. I'll go prepare myself. I closed the door on my way out. Was it because I didn't want to hear any more of it? Did I lack the energy to refute him? I had no time to reflect on the reason I left my seat. The one thing I couldn't stand was him putting the blame on me for leaving my master and Sanbei behind in a place they called a library, when I escaped so I could bring others to save them. A wise person once said that you must close your ears when someone utters useless words or speaks with harmful intention. Is the uselessness of a talk determined solely by one's own standards? Maybe Oscar was right, but are his words useless and wrong because they distressed me? Maybe I just didn't want to accept it. Consoling myself that I needed some time to focus only on the grief of losing my master and Sanbei, I covered my ears. You're pausing it at just the moment like it's a rerun of us you've watched over and over. There's gotta be a reason. Shut up. Shut the hell up. Sometimes the human brain has difficulty telling reality from illusion. Watching a horror film incites fear even though you know it's fiction. However, it's not always easy to discern the truth. They're standing right before my eyes reproaching me, but I can't dismiss them as mere illusions, even though they're dead. Gone. There is no way they could be real. It doesn't make sense that I know what they're about to say otherwise. It could be something they told me beforehand. When Sanbei was about to speak, I shut her up, as though I knew what was going to unfold. What could I gain from uttering what will harm me? Self-justification? Those words that wounded me for sure, but they were also words that would protect me. Yet again, I'm running away from the truth, vilifying others. It made me feel better. Pameli was right. All I had to do was make up reasons that are convenient to me. It's not my fault at all. They're the bad ones. It's derisive how shallow my admiration for my master and Sanbei was, changing my attitude towards them so easily out of selfish self-preservation. Nothing is more beautiful than knowing the truth, and therefore nothing must be more shameful than admitting that what one believed in was a lie. I could have sworn I acknowledged my vice and embraced it. Though the process was a little unstable, I still felt ashamed for the truthless deeds I had done. I decided to cherish that negative part as who I am, or so I thought. I stopped talking. I couldn't even tell what was the appropriate words to speak anymore. Turn a blind eye to all that tries to hurt me. Turn a deaf ear to the words that will lead me down the wrong path. Turn a mute mouth to unnecessary evil. And last of all, act not. Make myself happy that way. I could no longer perceive anything. Section 3 feels empty these days. Oh, you didn't hear the news? Many of them died in that incident with the distortions last time. Even the guy we counted on resigned and ran off. Right, that happened. Well, I guess that's why empty seats feel even more noticeable. He seemed pretty refreshed and relaxed on his last day. Wonder why he quit, though. Sure, the work here could be tough, but isn't it still easy compared to others? Gotta agree with that. Beats having to worry about getting axed all the time. Rumor says he went on to join the musicians of Bremen. Why would he want to join that funky band? You tell me. Maybe there's something more important than making a fortune and spending the rest of his life in comfort for him. We value the art of violence more than anything here. Those with an unscathed body are not permitted to join us. A swordsman who does not have a single blade scar on his skin is doubtlessly too careful when he wields his weapon, and his innate hesitation will be an obstacle. Too irresolute to endure the wounds of his own blade would leave, let alone the assault of others. A body free of scars is a proof of cowardice. Alas, it would be not wise to expose your wounds outside of those on your face. Blade lineage isn't known for coordination. It's little more than a cohort of people who have nowhere else to go, or those who carry the intent to murder someone. Most who seek to join us sit at the lowly social positions. It's not rare for such people to hold a deadly grudge against someone. You best behave before those who are more skilled than you. We may be a band of murderous ruffians, but we understand our place. And there we go. I'm still missing the books of the smokers, and then Dante. Oh no, he's not there. I'm missing the Warp Train books. So I do need to get those if I can, but I'm hanging up my hat there. So let's see, who else is doing some Ruina right now? Lobotomy? We'll give this person a shot. Either case, oh wait, hold on. Before I quit out, didn't someone want a nugget? Didn't someone want a nugget? I'm sorry. Nuggety, 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 nugget. All floors are technically unlocked, so get in now if you're wanting to get the nugget. Nuggety, 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 nugget. Going once. Going twice. Alright, closing up the shop.